Welcome to The Actor's Choice, where the actors and actresses have a chance to talk about themselves and their careers. Join us now for the next hour as we explore the marvelous industry of acting by actors and actresses from today's exciting show business world. And now, direct from Hollywood, here's your host, Ron Brewington.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ron Brewington, and welcome to The Actor's Choice. Roll it, Tony. Ladies and gentlemen, you have just seen what my first guest today can do. You just saw what they call New Leaf. She's won a couple of awards for that. Her Korean classification and fusion work has been described as both powerful and patriotic, and poetic, in an improvised form based on rigorous training. Her most notable work is the production of friendship concerts which commemorate LA's riots and promote unity in diversity. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome dancer, choreographer, Juli Kim. Juli, bless you and welcome to The Actor's Choice. My goodness, lady, that was a perfect. Congratulations on the awards that you won for that video, New Leaf. Excellent work, excellent. Yes. Madam, we are very, very honored to have you here on our show today. But before we get started, please tell us, where did you come from?
I was born in Korea, South Korea. Grew up there and finished my grade school there. So I think I was about 12 or 13, and then we immigrated to Canada. My aunt had settled over there and invited my mom, which is a sister, and that was Montreal, Quebec, Canada. And I grew up there, got my high school diploma, my college and university. And then I came down here to do my master's in piano performance at USC.
We call USC, SC, great school, indeed, indeed. Well, that's a beautiful piece of work that you've done for us. You know that dancing and choreography require, as you know, constant, rigorous training. Can you tell us about that?
Well, it was very some way unfortunate, or maybe fortunate hindsight, because I stopped training from studio because I left Korea. And in Montreal, Canada at that time, there was a very small community of Korea. There were no studios, no learning, there's no teacher there. So in a way, I was left to myself to study and train myself. So I had to very early age perform a lot because they invited me to present my work at festivals and celebrations. And even though I was young, I was given a chance to even choreograph and put the group together because there were no other ones available. So for the sheer lack of availability, I was there for them. So in a way, I had to experience already at an early age to take things on my own and choreograph and put music together and kids together and see how the whole dance kind of come to a place where they can actually present themselves, from training the little kids and putting the costume on and all that. So, and then I just kept on thinking about it. Even though I was doing music, my major was piano performance. Just dance was just always back in my head, and always, because it just gave me a special feel. I think it's something about getting your body involved in creative work, gets your adrenaline running and gives you some kind of, I don't know. So it gives me some kind of happiness that I couldn't get in other sources. So I wanted to get back to it. And when I had time, I did a lot of research. And at that time, and later on, YouTube's became very readily available. So I looked at the masters' footwork, the hands, and the choreography, and their head positioning, and just studied a lot on YouTube. And then somehow I started using music aside from very traditional ones to express myself. And that's actually brings to a very interesting revelation, to change, because until a certain point, I was just doing traditional work, very traditional, authentic Korean dance form. At one point, my son came to me. He was 16 at that time, and he brought me a piece by Radiohead. And the name of that piece was, song was Nude. I don't know if you know. It's a very famous piece. And she said to me, "Mom, you should dance to this music." And I said, Radiohead, Korean traditional. It's so far apart. But then I listened to it, and at once I said, I hear what you hear. And I choreographed my first piece, fusion piece, that I found my voice in 1 hour. And I had the
1 hour.
Yeah, I had that piece. It just inspired me. And that I still have that piece on YouTube. And I actually danced for Adila's Women's Festival.
Yes.
The festival. That was one of the pieces I danced for her. And ever since then, I was just on a roll. And a lot of times, the piece that we just saw, New Leaf,
Mm-hmm.
I went to my son and said, "Can you write me a piece for me?"
Yeah.
And he wrote that piece for me to choreograph. So that was a very special piece. So that's his music, composed by my son, and it was executed by my daughter and my son-in-law.
Okay. As you know, you do the Korean traditional 5-drum dance. Can you talk about that briefly?
Yeah, I learned the choreography because in Korea, traditional dances, they have a traditional choreography that we always do. It's like a Indian dance. They have it comes down from the master of the dance, and they choreograph it, and we all follow it. The thing is, I learned that when I was in 5th grade. So my mom was a crazy Asian parent, Asian parent. And she trained me very hard, and I had kind of mastered the basic technique of it. Then we moved. As you know, I moved away from Korea, so I was on my own to preserve that choreography and practice it and improve it. And most of the time, the drum dances are done in a huge mass, like a big group, and they do it in a very constant rhythm. And I couldn't do that. I was by myself, so I had to come up with my own style, which means much faster, much brilliant. I have to put in more beats to it, and I had to practice very hard to really that you can focus and play the instrument, not just to dance it. So one of the best compliment I heard for that piece was a long time ago when I presented it. A person said, "I wasn't sure whether you're a musician or a dancer."
Okay.
And I'm thinking, both. So that was, I have a drum like this, and I practice so hard, and it's kind of rough, and the surface is rough.
Okay.
And there are a lot of spots on that drum, and that's actually from my blood.
Oh, it is. Okay.
And so, yeah, I worked very hard on it, and then it's just a brilliant kind of genre.
Well, guess what, Julie? We just happen to have a clip. Roll it, Tony. That's magnificent, magnificent. We're a little short on time right now, but I just want to play for you a couple of photo shots that we've got. Tony, could you put that first one up, number 13? This is the Marilyn Monroe, because you get around a lot. You're a busy lady. Here's the Marilyn Monroe Theater Short and Sweet Festival. You get into festivals a lot.
Well, this one was, the festival asked me to direct a dance portion of the festival.
Yes.
So I had to put all the show together, and I also performed a couple of pieces there.
Okay.
The festivals, they asked me to, because I know a lot of multicultural dance community, and we've been putting shows on together. So
yes. Yeah. Okay. Here's the next photo that we took. This happens to be, you mentioned her by name, Adelia Barnes, but this is the Los Angeles Women Theater Festival. Last year you put on a great performance.
Yeah, I mean, Adela is so wonderful. She's such a warm, beautiful person. And anytime she asks me, yes.
And can you put that picture of Adela Barnes? There she is. There's my friend, Adela Barnes. Yes.
Love her, don't we?
Oh, yes. She's a very good lady. Co-founder. Yes. Okay. There is, Tony, if you would, I know we run a little short on time, but this one I want to make sure we get into this before we run out of time. Can you put that next photo up for just a second? She might know this guy.
Oh, it's my son, the composer.
Your son, yes. Yes. We're going to get him on the show, by the way, in March. Okay. Yes. But before he gets here, ladies and gentlemen, so we can kind of prep you a little bit. Tony, would you please be so kind as to roll it, sir? Look at the face of a very proud mother. That be you. That be you.
Thank you so much. Oh,
guys. You got a lot of other talented members of the family too.
Yes, very much so.
I was looking on your Facebook. By the way, folks, you need to go up on Facebook. The lady's got a lot of stuff up there. Do you have a website also?
Yes, I do. It's Juli YJ Kim. www.juliyjkim.com.
Yes.
I have been kind of not maintaining for a while, but with this COVID happening and business, I just started a business this year. I mean, 21. Been really, really busy.
Okay. Tell us about, if you would, the artist platform.
Artist platform was to give opportunity for the artists. We actually, several shows we had, we involved poetry, writing, and dancers and musicians and even artists, visual artists.
Yes.
Just put them on one day and just present them and just give them time, just place and audience to display themselves, their talent. And this is an opportunity that we all need. And it's so hard to come by because it's so costly to put on a show.
Yes.
That was our goal.
Yes. I want to you teach dancing, right?
I teach usually in like a group format when there's a performance, but I don't teach regularly. I don't have a group, which I'd love to, but it's very hard to create that at this point, at this time.
The reason I asked that question is because if anyone is interested in getting involved with you in the dance, how do they do that? How do they contact you?
Well, they could message me on my Facebook. Yeah, and then we can get together and then try to create a fusion work. I mean, I think I'm very interested in having few different genre of form in one work.
Yes.
And create like give and take and just in a fusion piece that involves more than just one genre.
Yes.
You're welcome to take dance lessons too.
Okay, sounds good. Are you thinking about writing a book? Because you got a lot of stuff up here. Can you think about putting it in a book?
Right now, I just finished the script.
Tell us about that. Yes.
Yeah, I mean it's a story that that story is very close to my heart because
Mhm.
I've lived through those experiences. It's not about me, it's a fiction, but still it's all about the little experiences I had. And it's just about love and nature and beauty and music, everything that is artistic. Again, almost platform, but in a beautiful love story. And right now we're in the editing process with professional, and she's doing a great job. By the way, I just read a edit yesterday, and it's like, yeah, they know what they're doing. Professionals, they learn, and it's different. But she's just putting all things more visual and more um, con- concise and precise, and it's great. I'm so excited.
We are too. Julie, we want to thank you for being with us today. Do come back again. And please keep up what you are doing. We thank you very, very much for what you're doing. God bless you. Ladies and gentlemen, Julie Key. Thank you, Jen. Thank you very much. This is the Actor's Choice. I'm your host, Ron Brewington. We would like to let you know that we are asking the Actors Choice Squad, that's you, ladies and gentlemen, to help us get former baseball player Curt Flood into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Now, Curt passed away January 20th, 1997. He was the husband of one of our wonderful guests, renowned actress Judy Pace Flood. Now, all you got to do is just give us a call, 213-349-3941. That's 213-349-3941. We sincerely thank each and every one of our members for being a part of this magnificent award for great baseball play. Okay? Thank you. Roll it, Tony.
All right, I'm alone and stuck in a rut, but it didn't used to feel like a punch in the gut. I was fine by myself, I could read a good book, but lately it seems everywhere that I look.
Ladies and gentlemen, my next guest today is an actor who is here today along with the next guest to tell us about a new play that they're working on. So, without further ado, let's get right to it. Please welcome Nicholas Tubbs. Greetings, Nicholas. And
hello, how are you doing?
Nicholas, which you want me to give you a call? Which one you like better?
What was that?
I see you want me to call you Nicholas or Nick?
Let's go with we'll go with Nick. Well, Nicholas is on the card, so Nicholas works great.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
First and foremost, where are you from?
I'm from Petaluma, California, which is in Sonoma County. It's about hey, there's a picture.
There it is.
It's about an hour north of San Francisco. It used to be the egg capital of the world.
Okay.
So it's a big farm country, lots of wine up there. Great place to grow up.
Okay. What made you get in? What made you want to be an actor?
I got into it in high school. I was kind of looking. My parents said, "We don't care what you do, as long as you're not doing something dangerous. We just want you to get involved in something that you're passionate about." And acting, I'd done a tiny bit of when I was little, and then when it came time for high school, there was a program at the high school I went to that was an arts magnet program, and so I auditioned for it, and then somehow got into it, and then started doing it more and more. And then when college came around, it was sort of the same type of thing. It was like, well, I don't know if there's anything I enjoy doing quite as much as this, so I'll just go for it. And then it worked out to study it in college, and then it's just snowballed from there.
Right, that's the way it's got. That's the way to make it happen. So, what kind of acting do you like to do the most?
Primarily on stage. That's been my main focus, has been stage stuff, and usually musical theater, just because there's at least in my experience, there's just a lot more of it produced, and that's kind of what I get cast in for the most part. And so yeah, I love doing musicals, but I'm not opposed to any type of performance, but it's primarily been stage thus far in my career.
You get a role. How do you prepare for that role?
It's a little different depending on the role. For the show that we're working on right now, Marry Me a Little, there's no dialogue, it's all music. So everything has to be told through song, obviously, and so a focus is really placed, at least on my end, on the lyrics, and really trying to understand the lyrics and really trying to differentiate it from chorus to chorus and between the verses, and diving in and trying to dissect that and what it means to me, and then what it means to the director, and what we think it'll mean to the audience when they see it. And so so that's kind of my usual process, is trying to go with the lyrics first, especially because I have not the best memory, and so memorizing takes me a while. And so the more time I have with the lyrics to try and learn them, the better.
Glad you said that, because I always wondered about it myself. I'm not a brain, but at the same time, but Brewington, would you memorize that? Duh. You get one of those guys out there. Indeed.
Yep.
You had a favorite play that you did one time called Forever Plaid. Can you tell about that, please?
Love that play. That was the first time I worked at Marry Me a Little is at International City Theater, which is where we did Forever Plaid. I also did it up north along the California coast at PCPA, as well as a few other places. And it's a story of four young gentlemen that were in a harmony group together and always dreamed of hitting it big. That was back in the 60s. And so 1964, they get their first big gig. They're driving to their first big gig, and then they get in a car accident with a bus filled with Catholic school children who are on their way to see the Beatles play at the Ed Sullivan Show. And so they pass away, and then the story is of them coming back, and they have to perform the show that they never actually got to do. And so so it's a very silly, zany show. Lots of we play around with plungers and singing lots of various silly capacities, but it's a great heartfelt show with some gorgeous vocal arrangements. So fun to sing.
You're the guy. You're the guy. Have you been on Broadway yet?
I haven't been on Broadway. No, not yet. Not in New York yet. Around the country otherwise, but never. We just in New York with a touring show, but never in a sit down on Broadway yet. But hey, fingers crossed someday.
Right. Excuse me. Let me do one thing. Got you. Fingers crossed.
Thank you.
Your toes too to get it in there. Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay. The next video that we have for you is you played the role of Quasimodo.
I did.
Yeah.
I did that up on the Central Coast as well, and it was such a great fun experience for such a somber piece. Definitely a dark piece for sure, but the music is gorgeous, and they did such a great job with it, and it was a blast to be a part of. And I wore so many layers and sweat so much. It was great for my health overall doing that role, but it was a lot of fun. I would love to do that show again someday.
Gotcha. Next show is you being Monty Navarro in Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder.
Yeah, we were involved with that at the we did the West Coast regional premiere with 3D theatricals originally. That was in Cerritos, California, down in Southern California. And then after that, a good number of us were able to go out to Utah to a theater called Tuacahn. And we performed as part of their season there. We did a remount.
You mean that one right there? That one right there?
That one right there. We lucked out, and we were in the indoor space, so we had air conditioning, which was wonderful. But it's a beautiful space, and so it was great to be there and get to do the show again and have another crack at the role, and it's such a fun tightly interwoven show with so many moving pieces that it was great to be a part of, and to be in Utah, which is beautiful, and so many national parks and hikes to go on and adventures to be had.
Okay. This tour channel that you talk about, it made $55 million last year.
It does very well. They do very well. They're huge in terms of Utah's tourism income, as I've been told, and they're a great company to be a part of. I'm lucky to have been a part of the company. It was great.
Wow. The next one we have is a play that you did called "Life Is But a Dream."
Oh yeah. That's it's actually not to correct it. Life Could Be a Dream, like the song. That we're oh my gosh, why am I blanking on who did it? But anyway, it was yeah, that was a 50s 60s music review written by Roger Bean, who also wrote Marvelous Wonderettes, many others, and it's a story sort of similar to Forever Plaid, of these guys that want to be in a harmony group and want to perform together, and they ultimately find another member of the group, and they have to start to have some success. But then there's some issues with the female character in the group, and everyone is kind of pining after the female character, and so there's some love battles and struggles along the way. But it's a great jukebox musical with tons of everyone's favorite songs from that era, like Run Around Sue and Teenager in Love and Unchained Melody and everything like that.
Got you. I got to give a plug here. You have a wife who is also an actor like you. Tell us about that lady. We want to bring her on the show.
Yep, her name's Haley, and she's an actor and performer as well. We work together. We work together in various capacities on performances. She's an actress and a writer. She writes sketch comedy and also does a lot of improv. She performs for a company that travels to various schools and inspires kids to get into creative writing by taking their shows and taking the things they've written and actually turning them into shows and things. And so she does that, and she's also the host of an interactive international science app called Tappity. So she stays very busy, and along with our little baby as well, keeps us on our toes.
Does this a little girl, a little boy?
A little boy named Sebastian.
Okay, Sebastian, that's a good name. Any chance he wants to be an actor? Ooh.
he might. He's very animated, and he loves singing, and he has a good sense. I mean, we're definitely both biased, but he has a good sense of humor. I think us knowing how tricky and fickle this business can be at times, we're maybe hoping for him to go in a different route. But hey, if he wants to give it a shot, we're definitely not going to turn him away from it.
Gotcha.
We'll encourage him, however.
Got you. Speaking of shot, I understand that you're a production singer on board Prince Cruises.
I did. I sang with Princess Cruises for a while, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, we had 6 shows that we did, and my particular itinerary was back and forth through. We met them in the Mediterranean. We traveled across to Florida, and then we were back and forth through the Panama Canal. So we hit up Costa Rica and Jamaica and Guatemala and Mexico, Nicaragua, so we were able to go and travel around all these places that I might not have been able to go and see at my young age when I was able to be on board. So it was a great time, and met people from all over the world.
Okay. Well, here's the reason why you're here today. Marry Me a Little. Can you tell us about it, please?
Absolutely. It's a piece combining various songs by the late great Stephen Sondheim, and they're actually, for the most part, songs that were either in his shows at one point and were cut, or they were songs that were written for the shows and never actually used for them, with the exception of a few throughout. So the songs are, for the most part, lesser known from his well-known works, and they've been combined together to create this story following two people, a woman and a man who live in New York, and they're both single, and they're both artists, and they have these dreams and fantasies of what it would be like to have someone in their lives as a romantic partner. And little do they know that they actually live a floor apart from each other in the same building. So it's kind of interweaving their stories and their own imaginings of another person and what that person would do for them in their own lives. And it's a great piece. It's perfect for Valentine's Day and in this time of year. And obviously we get to sing Stephen Sondheim's incredible music, and so that's a real treat. So anytime that audiences can go and listen to his music is an evening or an afternoon well spent.
Got you. Now it's playing at what they call the ITC, the International City Theater in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm. Yep. ICT, and it's
Yes.
it's right in downtown Long Beach at the Beverly O'Neill Theater, and we're performing. We open on the 11th. We play until the end of the 11th of February. Open, and we play until the end of February. Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights, and Sunday matinees.
Yes.
And yeah, we're right down in the heart of Long Beach. It's a great trip to make. There's tons of wonderful restaurants right down there. They have specials for tickets that include a meal if you don't want to figure out where to eat beforehand. And so it's a wonderful theater. All the people there are they do great work, and they do a lot for the community as well in terms of outreach and education.
Now, you've played in that theater before, so now you're coming back again.
I know. I would come back as much often as they would have me, but it'd be pretty boring for the audiences if I was in all the shows. But I'd gladly be in all their shows because they do great work, and they're a good family to be a part of. Good theater family to be a part of.
I know, would you give us the next photo, please? Because Nicholas knows this guy.
I know of him. I wish I actually knew him.
Yes,
I know of him. I know. I've heard wonderful things from the people that do actually know him. But Sondheim is. He's kind of a theater pinnacle and icon that everyone looks up to, and rightfully so. He's unparalleled in what he did for musical theater, and so it's an honor to be a part of any of his stuff. I've been able to do a few of his shows in the past, and hopefully many more.
Okay. He passed last year, but we just happened to have a cut. I knew you were going to be on here today. I found this cut of him saying what it's like being in this business. Roll it, Tony, please.
Have to decide on with a musical is, why should there be songs? You can put songs in any story, but which I think you have to look for is, why are songs necessary to this story? If it's unnecessary, then the show generally turns out to be not very good.
I can see that gentleman his work will be around for years and years to come. People can
Absolutely.
what he did. Yes, indeed, definitely. So one more time, can you tell us about how to get in? How can I get tickets for this event that's coming up called "Marry Me a Little"?
If you search International City Theater,
okay,
or you can abbreviate it at ICT. You can. They have all the info on there about how to get tickets. They're also on Facebook. They're on Instagram. Basically, if you search International City Theater, they'll have a plethora of options for you on how to get tickets there, and they have lots of fun things that they tease for the rest of their season and what's coming up next for them and all their education outreach programs and otherwise.
Okay, well, Nicholas, I want to thank you for being here today. Thank you for all that you've been done for us. Come on back and please let us know about your wife. We'd love to have her on the program.
Absolutely.
And absolutely, and hope that you have a good run. Take care, my friend. Take care.
Thank you. Really appreciate it. Take care.
This is the Actor's Choice. I'm Ron Brewington. Roll it, Tony.
Oh, dream maker, you heartbreaker, wherever you're going, I'm going your way. Two drifters off to see the world. There's such a lot of world to see.
Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. My next guest today is the other actor in the new play that will be opening in February at the International City Theater in Long Beach. Ladies and gentlemen, she can sing. She's a pretty girl. She does a lot of good things. She's an actress divine. Welcome to the Actor's Choice, Miss Katy Tang. Katy, how you doing, lady?
I'm good. How are you?
Hi, good to have you here. And we just got, of course, finished with, let's talk to Nicholas. He had a lot to say about that play, indeed. Before we do, I got a few questions that I'd like to ask of you. First of all, where are you from?
I'm originally from California, Anaheim, which anyone who doesn't know Anaheim as a city, I always say close to Disneyland.
Yes, indeed, Disneyland. How many times you been out there?
Honestly, not that often. The last time I think the last time I went was probably.
Pull the plug, Tony. Pull the plug. She didn't ever went out to Anaheim.
Sorry if I've offended any Disney fans.
As they say in this business, say what? Well, you know, these things happen even to the best of us, you know. I see that you've done a lot of stuff. Your performance career, you started on the ice. Tell us about that, please.
I did. Yeah, that's kind of, I feel like it's where I discovered a form of performing, but also like connection to music in general, and movement, because you got to do both on the ice. I started when I was like 6, something like that, and then got heavily into it and went to the Junior Olympics twice, actually, in pairs figure skating. And you
The
know,
Olympics.
Junior Olympics.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's getting ready to come up in about 2 weeks, about a week or so.
Yes. So I was definitely Olympic bound, and that was some of the dilemma of continuing. Was I did have a lot of injuries. There was that, and then you know, wanting, when you're Olympic bound, you kind of have to make a choice at some point to probably be homeschooled, because you're training at 4 a.m. and then after school in the afternoon and night off ice sessions. So it gets to be your life. And I think I did have a passion for singing the whole time. So I think there was things like, oh, I want to be in the school play, or I want to do, you know, student government and maybe go to college. So that won out in the end.
You went to college? Where'd you go?
I did. Yes. I went to UCLA.
Did you say Akla? We call it Akla.
Same as Nick.
Great school. Great school.
Also, yeah,
Really?
Nick's also a Bruin. So that's a fun little connection there. Yeah.
So you went to both schools?
UCLA and UCLA. Yeah. No matter however you want to refer to it. Yes.
Too much. You just, speaking of singing, you were elected, or not elected, you were chosen as Miss Culver City.
I was, yes. Yeah.
That's nice.
I competed, it's funny, I actually competed once as a teen.
Okay.
Oh, there I am with a crown on my
head. Got the crown, yes.
And honestly, I wasn't someone who did pageants growing up or anything like that. It was the talent portion, because it's very different from USA, Miss America. There's a huge talent portion and interview, which I'm like, I haven't done an interview since Miss California. Wow. But the talent portion is what caught my eye. I said, oh, so like singing, I get to sing. That was my favorite part about it. So I did it once as a teen, and then another gal who she's gone on to be like Eliza and Hamilton and stuff like that. She went on to be Miss California and lured me back in a way for the Miss program. So I did it 2 years, and I was Miss Yorba Linda 1 year, and then Miss Culver City. I was elected Miss Culver City the second year I did it. And then I aged out.
Okay, I can understand it. So what about Miss California? You were also in that event?
Yeah, so you have to win a local title first, and then I went on to the state. And yeah, I was second runner-up at Miss California.
Runner-up? Okay, look at you. Wow.
There I am.
There you be. Quite an experience. I think, everybody is not, I always call it 3 E's: education, exposure, and experience. And that's it right there when you do that.
Oh, absolutely.
I did that.
Yeah. There was so many things. It's so funny when you look back too, there's always, especially when you're in a place of figuring out who you are and what you stand for, that you look back and go, maybe I would have said this different or that different. But like you said, it's experience, learning, exposure, and I got to sing.
All right. So you got into acting now. What made you do that?
Well, it's kind of always been the undercurrent of what has been my love for singing, even, is like the communication part of it, storytelling part of it. And I think I leaned into opera because I've just always been more drawn to, I think it's all the elements that were there, that there's the dance, the acting, and the music with its through composition is so lush. And I love singing soprano repertoire. So all that to say, I even went on to do a master's equivalent abroad in opera. And then, Ron, I just started getting I'm gonna be honest, very frustrated with like the perfection and like sense of like control. And so I just started branching out into a lot more acting. And of course, that very intrinsically helped the singing. But did some clown during COVID and some more Meisner stuff, and just things that kind of just expanded all of that, which was already there. And it's really liberating.
Liberating. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Thank you.
I mean, the most I can do is stand in front of a mirror, me, and that's it for me. That's it for me. Remember the first time that you stepped up on a stage? Remember that?
I do. Yeah.
Nice. What was
Yeah.
that like? Yes.
Well, minus, like home performances, which I absolutely, I'm like, we had our own stage, my sisters and I think we did some Spice Girls
Right.
collaborations, even some Temptations.
Uh-huh.
But first, I actually remember, I think I was probably maybe 8, somewhere around there, that it was like a semi-professional production of Annie. And let me tell you, Molly, young Molly, orphan Molly, was my go-to role. I think I did it like 3 different times. I love you, Miss Hannigan. And yeah, I just remember even at that age, I felt it was like, oh, I'm home. I feel good here. I'm home here. So yeah, and so I think that's what I mean. Even then, it was both. It was the acting and the singing. But music is, yeah.
Yeah. And you stay ready for it. You prepare for it. You get out there, you perform. You and I have never met each other, but I will tell you this, anybody who knows me knows that Ron Brewington has a bone to pick with some actors and actresses. They'll do film, they'll do television, but they won't get up on that stage. Oh, no. Oh.
That's, yeah, opposite for me. I'm like, the stage, I know this territory.
Yes, I love going to a play. And all the venues that you have around town here in Los Angeles, you can be in some venues and just reach your hand out like that and touch the actor. Don't do it, but I mean, you could. I mean, that's how real it is to you. And this pandemic has certainly not helped the industry that much.
Exactly. I was just going to say, it's a magic thing, live performance. And I forget, some famous actor was just saying this exact thing in such succinct words. And it's what you're talking about, especially during COVID, that there is a difference. And like, you go even a movie, the audience reaction, it was probably Sondheim actually, which will segue beautifully, that they as an audience can do something that will not change the film. Whereas when you come to a live performance, the audience, the live interaction, and that contact does matter.
Yes.
It's a live, visceral.
Okay. Have you been on Broadway yet?
Not yet, no.
Okay, because I asked Nicholas the same question and we both did this. Fingers and toes. Hope you get there.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
Hope you get there. Oh, yeah. I was born and raised in New York City, so I enjoy Broadway. I enjoy the hot dogs and the pretzels and all the things that go with New York City. We called the city so nice, they named it twice. The city so pretty, they call it New York City. So just one of those things.
Yes,
we're just running out of time, but I just want to make sure we get this in. Marry me a little.
Marry me a little. The whole reason you're interviewing me.
Yes. Marry me a little.
Hopefully Nick got to talk about the production some and give some information about it.
Yes. How'd you get the role?
Well, I was doing a production of Christmas Carol at Denver Center. And so it's funny, both Nick and I, even though they had live auditions, we did all our rounds of auditions via tape. And I remember stressing about it because it was after a 10-show week Sunday night. I went over to the rehearsal halls. I was like, okay, gotta do these songs. But yeah, so I taped a bunch of material from the show, and that was it. And the wonderful Michael Donovan and Richie Ferris, casting director, were part of that process too. Yeah.
Tang, you're doing fine. You got a good run going there. Where is it playing? Can you tell our folks where it's playing at?
Yes, at ICT, International City Theater, which
You've been there before.
Confuse the acronym.
Yes, ma'am. It's interesting. You've done a lot of plays that thank you, Tony. This is what the audience looks like inside the theater in Long Beach. That is beautiful. There you are around the stage.
Yeah, gorgeous. It's a really special space, actually, the way it's laid out. So, yeah.
I like to go to the theater to hear the roar of the crowd. Oh, I love that. Smell all that good stuff that is done in this industry. And you've also been with Signet Theater, East West Plays. You get around a lot.
Yeah, I've been around town. Like you said, a lot of people don't always nod their hat to the fact that LA's got a ton of theater and good theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
And if this pandemic would go away, we could get back to enjoying it again, wouldn't it?
I know, we're doing our darndest, right? And this is great production. I mean, for many reasons, having Sondheim just pass, and it's like so special that we're getting to do this. But the fact that it's 2 people makes life a tiny bit easier in terms of, you know, COVID regulation.
I read that the theater, of course, is looking out for this. You have to have a record of your card, which you show that you've got the shots, mask, the whole bit. They want to make sure everything is okay.
Yeah, they're very safe about it, and I have been so appreciative of like all the communication and support, because it just, you know, it's a lot of extra steps and things shifting constantly, but we're doing what we need to do to make it happen, like you said, to bring it back. So
Nicholas gave us a quick synopsis of what his role is. Can you give us a synopsis of what your role is on this play?
Oh, a synopsis. Well, you know, the gist is that we're 2 strangers. We don't know each other, man and woman, living in the same apartment building in different apartments, which is the fun of it. And that's kind of, that's the setup. And we move through all these beautiful, it's just like one evening, but we move through songs. And I think, you know, you learn about her as you go through, but it's like we start in a real world and we move into reality. And so I think there's some fantasy and a lot of conversation about love and relations and longing, and when that is fulfilled, and then letting go of it too.
Sounds like a great role. A great role. These are some. It's nice in your career as an actress that you get a chance to get roles like this. That's what makes you down the line. It makes you get those jobs down the line.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is anything Sondheim, but this especially, it's like so much juicy material. Yeah, it's so much good stuff. And I think we had talked a bit about, I think my first professional Sondheim production was with East West Players.
Yes.
And, you know, the artistic director had mentioned then that it was so important for him, Tim Dang, to do Sondheim because there weren't really opportunities. And this is probably 10 years ago for, you know, Asian American actors to do these roles. And while Marry Me a Little is less specific in terms of where and when, it still had been true. And it's nice to know that it's shifted. And these are, like I said, juicy roles with the material, the musical material, the words, the text, the acting. It's just everything you want as an actor. So it's a pleasure to play.
And it's all done in the memory of a gentleman by the name of Stephen Sondheim.
Yes, Stephen Sondheim.
Yes, thank you, Tony. Thank you. There he is. What a guy. Won't forget his work. Anything else you want to say about the play?
Come see it. Yeah,
that's the word. That's what I'm looking for. Come see it. Yeah.
Previews, I think 9th, 10th. We open the 11th, and then it plays every weekend through February. So perfect event to go to for Valentine's Day.
Yeah. And Long Beach is a wonderful, wonderful city. I was in the Navy station at what was Naval Station in Long Beach, and I can remember all the way that town is. The events they have every year, always going on. The motor race, to this event, to this. It's always something to do in Long Beach. Always.
It's a great, beautiful area. Yeah.
Well, my dear, we want to thank you for being here today, and have a good run. And special thanks, of course, to Lucy Pollard. That's my friend.
I will. Yes.
It's okay with me. But thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, Ron.
Yeah. One more word we have to say to you is break a leg.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Katy Tang, indeed. I want to thank our sponsors, Harvey Brandman for Photography and Art, Ron Irwin's Lose Life, The Way to Lose Weight, Larry Buford's Book to the Future, Time Travel, Message in a Capsule, State Farm agent Carla Green, and veteran actor Bob Bronstein's Actor Training School and Actors Space. Much thanks to our guests today, dancer choreographer Juli Kim, actor Nicholas Tubbs, and actress Katy Tang. And of course, special thanks to our ever-growing audience. Be well. We'll see you next time.